Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Focus up, all right? Time to lock in, boys. Time to fucking lock in because today we are doing another model slash strategy blueprint and pretty much breakdown of my entire model and strategy so you can copy this and start fucking printing money yourself. All right, this is super simple, and you guys have requested many times. All right, this was one of literally the most requested video I've ever made. Yeah, you guys have been requesting me like crazy to make another video breaking down my strategy and breaking down my model. Now, obviously, I trade ICT. All right, I have not invented any of these concepts, but this model, this framework is what I've been using for the last few months. And bro, this has completely changed my trading. All right, completely changed my trading. I've started having green weeks, green months, like one after the other. And literally, this strategy has over 75 win rate, like 100%, like 75 win rate minimum. And if you actually like refine it and learn when you can, like, which trades you want to take and which trades you don't want to take, bro, it's over 85% win rate. And I've been backtesting it for a fucking while now, almost 200 trades in my backtesting session, and it has over 75% win rate. Depending on how seriously I actually am in the backtesting, because backtesting is kind of fucking boring. But anyways, this is the blueprint. This is the model. All right. So enough yapping. And yeah, so let's start breaking it down. So first of all, we need, and by the way, after I'm gonna finish breaking this down, I'm gonna move into some real life examples as well, so you can actually see it from the chart. And I have an actual banger that I took today and made some nice profits, man. Literally today. So today it's Friday, January 16th, and literally today we had a banger of a trade, head take profit, 1 to 2 hour. Yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, so enough yapping. Wow. Nice. All right. We're recording, everything is fine. All right. Step number one, high time frame for value gap. All right. This is the this is the foundation of our model. We need to see price hit a high time frame unfilled. All right. Unfilled for value gap. All right. This is very important. All right. Price needs to hit a high time frame unfilled for value gap, which means either a 1 hour or a 4 hour. I don't trade less than the 4 hour, than the 1 hour. Sorry, I don't take 30 minutes for value gap. I don't trade 15 minute for value gaps as a higher time frame. Um, but and the daily is possible, but usually the daily does not get the same rejection like off the gap. Usually the daily is a bigger gap and usually retraces even lower, like even deeper. But overall, you can trade the daily for value gaps as well. But I trade it mostly with 1 hour or 4 hour for value gaps. So you just gotta wait for price to retrace and pretty much tap a high time for value gap. All right. Very simple stuff. Now, obviously, you have to pair it with, all right, where's your drawn liquidity? All right, what do you think is going to happen? Are we even going to get to that for value gap? Because sometimes there are many for value gaps, all right, that are very far from price. There are a lot of days where you come into the market 9:30 a.m. and you don't have a single 1 hour or 4 hour unfilled for value gap available to you. Now, if you trade this model, you won't have a trade that day, probably, unless price actually like has an insane move and taps that unfilled gap. But overall, when you go into the morning 9:30 a.m., bro, if there's no for value gap, unfilled for value gap, right? At least for this model, if you don't have an unfilled for value gap, then you cannot take a trade. All right, it has to be a high time frame unfilled for value gap, right? And very important, it has to be unfilled. And unfilled meaning we have not touched it yet. It unfilled, untouched, first time. All right, a virgin for value gap. All right, so after we tap that for value gap, we are waiting for step number two. All right, where most people, where most traders fail, pretty much. All right, is that they do not wait for confirmation. They do not wait for structure to align with their trade idea. And 1 second, 1 second. I got a phone call. All right. So what most traders fail with is that they do not wait for enough confirmation. All right, they do not wait for structure to tell you that it's that the order flow is changing direction. All right, what most people do is once we hit that high time frame for value gap or high time frame key level, all right, what they do is that they just take the highest, like any inversion of that leg, all right. Now sometimes it can work, but your win rate is gonna be drastically lower than if you actually wait for the market to confirm and align. All right, wait for the structure to align with your trade idea and with that high time frame key level. All right, so how do we do that? We wait for the market, okay? Not to do a market structure shift, not to have like a fucking break of structure, all that fucking nonsense or nonsense, all right? We are waiting for the market to create a 5 or 15 minute fair value gap in that direction, all right? So as you can see over here, once we tap that 1 hour, 4 hour, we wait for market to displace higher, create a 5 minute fair value gap. Now, most of the time it's gonna be a 5 minute, and I love taking trades off the 5 minute. Sometimes what happens is that price just runs away, all right, and then before you even get an entry, we already have a 15 minute fair value gap, all right. So you just gotta be careful, just gotta watch out. But either way, it's either a 5 minute or 15 minute fair value gap that needs to be created. Now, if we don't get that, what pretty much, so what a 5 minute for value gap means in this context is that market order, like the actual order flow is changing. There's enough volatility now. There are a lot of orders pushing price higher now. All right. And pretty much it confirms that there's enough volume and we are, okay, changing directions and we are having a reversal. But now, instead of trying to catch the reversal and trying to bottom tick or top tick the trade, what we do is we waited for market to confirm that we're changing direction, that we are reversed, and now we're trading a continuation model. And continuation models usually have much higher win rate. Now, this model has low RR but high win rate, meaning that most of the trades you're gonna take are gonna be either 1-to-1 or 1-to-2. Of course, you can go for bigger ones, and sometimes it even works. It all depends on context, where we are, what's the drawn liquidity, and where you could potentially, like, what key levels you can potentially take the trade towards. But overall, your trade, most of the trades are gonna be 1-to-1 or 1-to-2 R. All right. Now, after we have created this 5 minute or 15 minute fair value gap, all right, and I put examples both bearish and bullish, okay, so you can see what I'm talking about. We are waiting for step number 3, which is the entry confirmation, the actual entry model. All right, which is the highest time frame for value gap, highest time frame IFVG in the leg. Okay, highest time frame inversion for value gap in the leg, meaning that in the manipulation leg that entered the 5 minute for value gap, all right, we are gonna look, okay, we are gonna look for the highest time frame inversion in the leg. We're gonna go for, in this case, all right, this is a bullish example, we're gonna look at the highest time frame for value gap, bearish for value gap, okay, in the manipulation leg that went inside the fair value gap. All right, so in this case, let's say we have a 1 minute. All right, so this is a 1 minute. Sometimes you gotta check the 2 minute, 3 minute, 4 minute, sometimes even the 5 minute, right? Me personally, I hate taking 5 minute for value gaps, like 5 minute inversions, because they're just like very big, and then your stop loss needs to be huge. But overall, usually my entries are only 30 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute maximum. All right. But overall, you just gotta find the highest time frame bearish for value gap in this example, or over here, highest time frame bullish for value gap. Now, so over here, you find, for example, a 3 minute bullish for value gap, and then once price closes under it on the 3 minute chart, then you take the trade and you take that lower. All right, same goes for here. You find the highest time frame bearish for value gap, wait for it to invert, and then you take the trade higher. So this is literally the most simple model, which is insanely high win rate. All right, if you follow this and you understand that all you gotta do is wait for a simple model like this, for once in your life, actually focus on one model, one strategy, one way of looking at the market. All right, literally all you have to do is wow, English, hello, come into the morning at 9:30 a.m. All right, see if you have any unfilled for value gaps around you. If you do, perfect. You can put an alert, all right, on your trading view. You can put an alert and then wait, do whatever the fuck you want, wait for price to hit those levels, all right? Once it hits those levels, then lock in, bro, all right? And be on the charts, wait for displacement, wait for inversions, bang, you're in, bang, take profit most of the times, all right? But this is very, very simple, all right? And I just wanted to quickly show you an example literally from today, all right? So as you can see right over here, okay, let me just go over to market open. So market open 9:30 was literally right over here. Let me put on this indicator so you see the opening price. Opening price right over here. All right. Market open 9:30. Bang. We completely sell off. Okay. We have this huge 300-point move to the downside. All right. Where do we go? Where did we go? 4 hour for value gap right over here. Okay. 4 hour unfilled for value gap over here. And a 1 hour unfilled for value gap over here. All right. What are we waiting for? Bang. Perfect. Look at that. Wicks into the for value gap, displacement high. We have two 5-minute for value gaps. One 5-minute for value gap over here, one 5-minute for value gap for value gap over here. Did we have a 15-minute? No, we did not. Okay, so what ended up? What ended up? Blah, blah, blah. Wow, what the fuck is wrong with the English? What ended up happening is we tapped this second 5 minutes for value gap. All right. As you can see, we had this bearish 1 minute for value gap. We wait for that. Boom, inversion. Okay, now it's an IVG. And boom, you're in the trade. All right. We kind of played around over here and then bang. Okay, I took it for a 1-2. Okay, you can target 1-1, whatever you want to do. But this was the trade. And as you can see, like you literally caught half of the move higher. And yeah, so again, if you pair it as well with, for example, sell side liquidity being swept, 4 hour for value gap being tapped, 1 hour for value gap being tapped, we completely sold off, right? On a below midnight opening price. That means we are super in a huge in discount of the price. As you can see right over here, if we take this entire thing over here, right? Retraced, bang, all right? Literally, you know, discount, premium, draw on liquidity. You just pair it with those things, and then you can actually take some banger trades. All right. So this is pretty much very, very simple stuff. I mean, I have not had a trade this whole week. So like literally yesterday I took a loss actually. So it was one of the losses. But overall, like, yeah, this so with this strategy, usually all right, from my back testing, all right, and the all the back testing I did, all right, what I found out is that statistically, okay, statistically, I usually get 3 trades, an average of 3 trades per week, all right, in the AM session. Sometimes I even take trades on PM session as well, but usually AM session or like until 12 p.m., all right. Usually you get 3 trades, an average of 3 trades per week and 10 trades per month. All right. So some people think like, oh my God, I have to trade everything every single day and I have to take trades and I have to, I have to constantly be on the charts, to constantly take trades. No, bro. 3 trades a week, bro. Sometimes even 2. This week I only had 2 trades and both of them, one of them was a loss, one of them was a win. All right. So all you gotta do is just wait for the setup. All right. I'm giving you a blueprint. Wow, what is wrong with my English today? I'm giving you literally a blueprint here, where you can actually copy this and like statistically, you can make money. All right. All you gotta do is just follow it. Now, this is not for most. A lot of people cannot sit on their charts. All right. I have one guy in my Discord. I know you're watching this, bro. All right. I'm talking about you, where every time there's no for value gap, unfilled for value gap in the chart close to us, it's like, oh, nothing to do. Trading is so boring. Calm down. It's all right. This strategy averages 3 trades per week and 10 trades per month. You do not need more than that to become profitable. You do not need more than 1 trade a day to become profitable. And you do not need to trade every day. All right. You do not need to trade every single day. Sometimes there's no trade. I literally did not take a trade. Not Monday, not Tuesday, not Wednesday. Only Thursday, I had my first trade and it was a loss. All right. So some people cannot handle these emotions and some people cannot have patience. Like some people just don't have enough patience and they want to trade a model or something that has like maybe lower win rate, but comes along every single day. Sure, you can do that. This one, sometimes you gotta have patience. Sometimes you're gonna get a setup every day. Sometimes even 2 or 3 setups every single every day. All right. Happens. But sometimes you're gonna have to wait 2, 3, 4, 5 days for a setup. And it happens. It all depends on market conditions. All right. But this is just the blueprint, the framework that I wanted to show you guys that fucking works. And you can copy this and actually bank a lot of fucking money. All right. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. If you want me to go even more, I'm gonna upload a backtesting session video very, very soon about the strategy. All right, so you can see like live in action how I trade this, and I have some live trading videos as well on my channel where I've been winning, where I've been losing. So you can go watch that, and that is pretty much it. So thank you very much for watching this video. Hope this helps you. If you are gonna try and trade this, all right, let me know, man. I would love to help you out. Join my free Discord. Most of the guys over there are trading this model. So if you guys need help, feel free to drop by and ask some questions. And yeah, that is pretty much it. So thank you for watching. If you want to see my pretty face again in your screen, subscribe down below. All right. Let's get to 300 subscribers very soon. Leave a like, leave a comment, bro. And yeah, thank you for watching, man. Hope you have a good weekend.